Still just slightly moving up. It's probably stagnant right now. I didn't say no $1,000 price target, but definitely not if we run anytime soon, unless everything squeezes at once. Like I said, they're hedged. How much would 100 million in at the money options move the price? Significantly more. Depend on the ratio of leverage, but more. I miss what Gamma Max is today. 140. So basically, they've been able to get the situation under control over the last year. I don't think they have it under control. I think someone's defaulted. I just don't think that one default is going to be sufficient to blow it up. A lot of other things need to fall into place. Right now, the confidence in it breaking above 350, even in the event of a run, is fairly low. Who's the Pickle Union president? It's the main reason I'm here. You have a price target for Apple this week? This week, no, but I do have a price target for Apple between 165 and 170 over the next week or two. Do you believe that people who think a GME squeeze could reach millions per share? It's possible. How many of them will be left trading at that price? Very, very few. The people who think GameStop's going to reach $69 million a share while the entire float is held, I think are out of their, kind of out of their minds. But I mean, theoretically, a short squeeze is infinite. It's just that, the government will shut that shit down at some point. What's the biggest candle you've witnessed on the 1 minute? I've seen things like just straight halt on a 1 minute candle. So 10%. You're playing anything specifically for the CPI report tomorrow? Feel like big volume dump on the SPY could send it down quite hard, given this low volume pump. I mean, if it comes in under expectations again, the market's gonna drop in response. Did the default cover? No, not yet. I don't think they wanted to run without a reason ever again because of FOMO. FOMO is very dangerous for them, but they've done a very good job at beating that down. I mean, even the FOMO into BBBY the other day with RC's buy-in announcement was like nothing compared to like what we saw last year, right? Macroeconomic conditions favor shorts right now, or shorts that were already short moving into this period. People have less free money. They're working. They have less time. I want to know how likely it is we can run to 350 in the first place. That's where my focus is as well. Since you think someone defaulted, are you looking into getting into leapsies and playing the IV on far out of the money contracts? Probably, yeah. If I reposition to January or June tomorrow, then I'm going to buy Jan out of the money leaps. They're very high Vega. So probably like 950s or something. 900s, 950s. I just think Ivy will crush a little more. 15 days from the 24th would be the 17th. 15 days from the 24th is the 17th. Yes. That's correct. We discussed this on OPEX. If I want to buy shares by exercising options, would you do it at market close Friday when the price of the option is practically zero? It's not practically zero if it's that deep in the money. It'll still be fairly relative to the trading price. Those deep in the money options have a delta of like 0.99, right? So like they're almost the same price as the underlying stock. Would you stream the Volgavana squeeze? Maybe. Remember, the odds of MOASS happening go way the fuck up if there is a Volgavana squeeze, right? A Volgavana squeeze means a breakdown of the entropy and volatility positions. But you simply cannot have the next step in the ladder without the first occurring. So there's no point in focusing or putting energy into researching the potential for a short squeeze, if there's no FTD squeeze on the table, right? You need the sequence of events to line up in a way that could create that scenario. And until they begin to, the possibility of that scenario is out of the question. But if you start to get an FTD squeeze, which Ryan Cohen's buy-in on BBBY may do, then you can start to possibly realize a breakdown of those variance and volatility positions, a breakdown of those entropy swap positions. You might start to realize the FOMO necessary to push into a gamma squeeze. Don't forget that the price has to increase by at least 100% for a gamma squeeze to even be possible, right? And then after that, you need the shorts to begin to fail. Whatever shorts exist on the stock have to start to fail and be margin called, and then that can precipitate a short squeeze, which would be MOASS, right? That liquidation of short hedge funds and market makers that causes the stock to just run into infinity. Yeah, but they can extend that 15-day deferral up to 4 times, which takes it way further out. One. Holy VIX, what VIX doing? Coming down? Nope, it spiked. Just a little bit. Some bad news. That's on 150 next Friday after earnings. It could happen. I wouldn't buy weeklies for it, though. Will you stop streaming if you conclude MOASS is no longer possible? It's a good question. I don't know. I feel like I would want to teach people how to manage their positions if that was an eventuality. I don't know. I have to think about it. What do you think about selling a leap on GME and using premiums to buy multiple BBBY leaps? Interesting. If RC bought DDS Kaboom, it's expensive. Like, how much of it can he actually buy? He can't buy a controlling interest. So why would he be interested in buying it at all? Like 10% of the float isn't even fucking available, or the shares outstanding. There's only 4 million shares available, and most of those are sold short. Half of those. So there's 2 million shares available, and 2 million share buy-in doesn't, I mean, not only is it expensive as fuck, but it doesn't guarantee him, like, ownership, right? Narrator, he bought weeklies for it. No, just say no. Keep streaming, please. I've always appreciated your blunt information. It's really nice to receive actual education of what to expect before MOASS can be realized, not just purple buttholes. Would buying a 318 strangle, buying a strangle, okay, on 317, you mean like a straddle? 317 right before close be a good earnings idea. We always move more than 10% after earnings. I feel like the right strikes may play out. I played straddles on earnings in August. It was profitable. Shitty, but profitable. The IV crush really fucking hurts. But yeah, straddles aren't terrible. And earnings is close enough to Friday that, if you were buying a weekly straddle, it might not be too expensive. Sometimes you can make money on both sides of that straddle. Did we just see a tiny liquidation? I don't think so. Are you just going to take long breaks instead of sitting 7 hours straight? I don't know. I mean, maybe. I would say that if I were to continue streaming, the stream would be less 100% GameStop focused. I mean, it'd still be very GameStop focused as long as it remains the largest part of my portfolio. But the positions I would be managing on it would be less intensive and wouldn't require constant upkeep. I almost forgot. Go row. It's too early, isn't it? 2 o'clock. I'll go row at 2 o'clock, trash. I didn't do a rowing session today. When you're on Tinder, do the laddies ask you how your FUBOP can go? Any expectations for CPI numbers? Market's lost a lot of value since the last report. I wonder if it could beat. There's a potential for it to beat, I think. Be warned of that if you're holding covered calls for tomorrow. Why do you think RCU specifically chose 9.9% of BBBY? Because if he triggers an FTD squeeze and his leaps go in the money, he can exercise for ownership, or yeah, for more than 10%. Looking long term and big picture, what chance out of 10 do you feel are the current overall odds of MOASS? I don't even know what that means, man. Right now, trading at 107 with no significant FTDs, the failure is good. That improves it. I don't know. It's arbitrary. It's an arbitrary assessment. Without an FTD squeeze and a Volgavana squeeze, the chances of MOASS are 0. If those occur, then the chances of MOASS go up. It's not really that complicated. It's a process that has to occur. If it's not occurring currently, then the chance of it occurring is 0.